Hi, everybody. We're back. How are you, Flea? How are you feeling this morning?
Rejuvenated. I definitely have needed the break and the rest offline and just finding myself again. I feel like we tend to get a little bit caught up with the what's happening in the world and trying to be like everybody else and follow the rules and the stuff that's happening that we kind of get lost along the way. And that definitely happened for me. I felt like I was falling into groups that didn't align and just really wanted to come from a really authentic place, and that's where I'm coming from now, and I just love it because it's authentic.
I love
What
that.
about
I
you?
love that. Yeah, I'm feeling good. We're going live. We're like yesterday, we set ourselves a challenge because we've had to sit with just a bit of rest, lots of shifts, lots of changes. I feel like this start of the year, not only for us, but in the collective, has been like, this is not how I thought I'd start the year. And things have just moved in different directions, but it's also been a lot of just deep grounding and anchoring. And yes, we were live on Facebook. We set ourselves that challenge to go live and share something really exciting for 10 days at around 8 o'clock. You know, if we're a little bit late, that's okay. Sometimes technology, I was trying to get Instagram to work. So, hello, Instagram followers on Awæcnian. And Flea might do the same tomorrow. We might have a tag team, and we're just playing with tech as well. But we wanted to share something we've been working on. I think it was last year or even the year before. We spent a lot of time just really honing in on this like first level of awareness of when you start waking up to listening to the synchronicities, whether it's numbers popping up for you or changes in your life or people fading away or other people coming in or changes within your work environment or in your heart most of all. And so we created this beautiful, beautiful course that we're really proud of. And we've tested it out with a few people, but now it's time. Now it's time to share it with you all. And it is our first pillar to our awareness, gorgeous, gorgeous course. And Flea, I'd love for you to share a little bit more about why you're excited about this work, because I feel like the last maybe 5 years, we've really, in our own lives, dived through the depths, put in our knowledge, our wisdom, our insights with some really tangible, practical tools to help us to connect more deeply.
Yeah, well, like you said, I think we met, it was like 6 or 7 years ago at one of the first schools that I'd been employed at. And it was only for a 6 month contract. But at that time, like all hopes and everything were very up there. Like they were, I just finished my degree and I was getting my job. I was working at a beautiful school. And then it all kind of crumbled because of the segregation and the systems. So the particular school I was at is a Catholic school, and me not being baptized Catholic, I was basically told I would never ever get full-time employment. And it crushed me and it made me have to up and leave, and I got a full-time job somewhere else, which was even more challenging because it is one of those low socioeconomic schools. So there's challenges within the funding, within the environment, and the structure of the school. And it really threw me into what we call awareness, which is that first stage of really understanding I'm not in the right place in my life. I'm not where I'm meant to be. And there's something more, because there's something that's been driving us our entire lives. And that something for me was always, oh, I'm just going to improve. I'm going to become a mum. I'm going to heal the world of all of the pain and the hardship. And to a degree, like that's what we do. But it actually started with healing ourselves. So awareness really stemmed from really finding where we were in our challenges in our life. Like there was so much happening. We were both growing. We were going through our own personal experiences, and that just really shaped how we formed the foundation of Awæcnian. So the 5 pillars are awareness, acceptance. Awareness, acknowledgement, acceptance. Then going into a little bit of accountability, and what's our fifth one? My mind.
There's alignment in there.
Yes, Okay, which is before the last one. Okay, so that's number 4. Oh, my brain. I should have these things up, but we're going through those phases of life. So I'm actually in perimenopause, so my brain and my world has flipped upside down again.
Mm,
And really, a lot of what we're now sharing and why we're really pushing this is because these phases that we go through, they pop up unexpectedly throughout life. And it could be at any given moment that something shifts and you're just like, I don't feel aligned to what I want to be, where I want to be. I don't feel joy. I don't feel pleasure. And something has to change. And that's what this
mm,
course is. It is that first step in how do I come back to me to really recognize what is going on in my world, what is going on in my energy that's preventing me from being in that ultimate joy, in that bliss that we should all be in as human beings.
mm.
So awareness, the first stage is really, really important, and it's kind of big. It's large, and a lot of groups touch on shadow work. They touch on different concepts of, oh, you just need to heal your diet. Oh, you just need to do this. Whereas I've found that in our course, we went through it all. Like there is so much information in there. There is so many different ways and strategies that you can find what works for you. And I think that's the most important thing about this course.
I love that. And even though we've broken it down into those 5 streams of understanding, they do come in to work together in every phase of your life. But we've really like tackled in, well, in order for us to be truly in alignment and taking accountability every single day, every single moment, you've got to be aware, acknowledged, um, and just really be intentional with your actions. And it takes, they say it takes 30 days to shift a habit, right? And I know, with all of those facets that Flea explained, they are embedded in each pillar, but we're really just breaking it down to just kind of help people that are wanting to dive deeper into just really getting to know themselves, and we're both very aware, intentional people, but then sometimes the life and the daily grind can just get to us. We were talking yesterday about an event I went to, and yes, I think things happen for us for a reason, but then there are parts of those moments when I was sharing with Flea that fell to line, and other big parts where I'm like, oh, I don't like that. I don't like how that feels on my body afterwards. And it's these lessons in that reflection, in knowing yourself, in being able to then talk about it, integrate it, and then be really consciously aware in the next thing I get to do and choose to put my energy into, and just really know what my full body yeses are and what my no's are. And I feel like, Flea was talking about going through perimenopause. I am also 20 weeks pregnant. So my body has gone through a lot of shifts, particularly in the first half of the year. So we've just really been also honoring our body, our energy, our emotions. And we've also been navigating, well, is this still a line for us? And we've had many conversations where we're like also been in a rebranding phase, honing in. We've done a lot of work in the last 2 years, setting our foundations, setting the connections. We have such a library, I feel like, of beautiful resources and people and teachers and facilitators that we have access to in our beautiful Awæcnian Academy. And we just have such also this gorgeous, diverse set of skills, life experience, that we also have been playing with, and it's been fun to be in those moments where it feels really aligned. And it's like, I really love doing more of this. But then it's also been in our accountability parts of our growth together as a business to go, okay, well, that feels really good. These things are shifting here. What else can we draw in? And how can we make this more sustainable, not only for our own energy, but the future of what we're creating and our bigger mission? And like,
Mm.
we're still growing and evolving together. And there's been times where it's been like, oh, is this collapsing? Maybe it is. And letting go of that expectation. We pulled out some cards earlier, and letting go of the story of it has to look a certain way, and just speaking, as always, whenever we speak into anything, things like resolve and heal, they get said, they come to the surface to be aware, acknowledged, the big piece around acknowledgement. And this is not just within what we're doing with Awæcnian Academy, but it's in our own intimate relationships as well. And we dive into this in that first course where we look at, well, what are our triggers? What's happening in our emotional state? Because our nervous system is how we experience the world. And if we're not aware of how our internal systems are reacting not only to our own selves, our surroundings, but the people around us, and how do we expect other things to change? We got to change in here first, right? And this is the beauty about, this 3-month beautiful online course. And there's other beautiful things we're going to offer with that. I mean, you can work at your own pace. Hey, Flea. Some people that we've had tested out have gone speedy through it. Others are still progressing through it. What will they get out of it, Flea?
It's such a beautiful way to one. I guess I want to go back to what I wanted to say before is what you were talking about, Marie, is all about the connection. So we've developed this not only for ourselves, but for other people, because what we found is that we need connection. We need somebody that is going to be able to accept us even when we're in our shadow side. And a lot of what Marie was just talking about was, the conflicts that we have within our own lives. It's like, okay, well, I don't know what I'm doing with my career. I might need to up and move. So how do we run this? How do we be a business? How do we tackle life while still trying to be authentic and true to ourselves? And that's what you get mainly, is you get the community, you get the support to be able to go, hang on a sec, this doesn't sit right with me. Actually, I feel conflicted by this. It's not landing. Let's dive into it more. And for both Marie and I, like, we love that. We love the idea that, we can actually look deeper into things. And okay, well, maybe we've worded it wrong. Maybe we've um, positioned it in a way that isn't reflective of everyone that's around us. And being able to build and grow that with you is really what this community is about. And awareness being that first pillar, you get support. You get a 13-week course. So it is a 3-month course, but like Marie said, you can go at your own pace. We don't want to kick people out, especially because I know that I went through all 5 pillars in the first 6 months of starting Awæcnian, and then all of a sudden I was back at, step 1 and 2 going, okay, I haven't healed anything. This is all just rubbish and BS. And that was it for me. And then it was like, no, I haven't. I'm actually at that stage. But when you're in accountability, when you're in that final level, you're really going through everything that shapes your beliefs and your patterns. And like I've said before, those beliefs are the little lies that we tell ourselves before we know. When we're in accountability, it's challenging because what you know and what you once believed start to conflict. And that's that energy work and the polarity and a lot of the times the divinity that comes from it. So in the first 3 months, you will get onboard calls. So we will hold monthly meetings where we can support you, but we also have a private group chat so we can answer any questions. We can reflect and support you at any time. Like, this is the beauty of setting up this website, is that we have all of that available on our phones. We get a message and say, oh, I need help with this, or I just need somebody to work through this trigger. And a lot of it is coming back to that play. How do we find play as in our adult lives? And I love this. I can't talk. There's something that happens in perimenopause where your tongue just wants to get stuck to the roof of your mouth, and it's really frustrating because it's like, get it out. But anyway, this is real life, and this is what happens. And we're not part of the whole scam of trying to show that we're all perfect and we've got everything together all of the time, because we're human and we don't. And anyone that's selling that story that they're perfect is lying. Honestly, they are, because at any given moment, divine intervention can come in and throw your life upside down and prove to you that, you are still a human being and you're here to experience both the ups and downs. And that's where this course really comes in. It's giving you so many different ways. There's breath work, there's different techniques. And, we'd really love to, for those people that sign up with the special deal that we have at the moment. So we are taking, this is a $3,000 course. We're discounting it down to $300 with the special coupon code that will be shared in the
That's
chat.
that's
So Co-Create,
amazing.
if you put that in, straight to our website.
Co-create.
It's on our landing
Co-create.
page. Click on it. Co-Create. I've even put it on there so that nobody forgets. And it's $300. $300 for 3 months. 2 people, a community, a space where you just get everything you need. Like it's
Wow.
$100 a month investment. I think we
Yes.
worked out. It's
What a bargain. And then if you break that down, that's like $25 a week. And you're getting two of us. Flea and I have has such a wealth of experience. When I coach people one on one, we just did a beautiful group immersive day for people stepping up into their visibility, sharing their stories. We've worked last year, we had 6 summits, and we had 6 global summits. We had 160 people, amazing everyday leaders from 14 countries come through this platform to share their stories, to share their wisdom. And, there has been so many thousands of children, teenagers that we have also impacted in our other lives with our hats on as educators, teachers, facilitators, guides. We've got such beautiful gifts to share. And I'm going to just highlight that because, to find and feel that authenticity in people that can hold space for you is so rare these days. And you get that with both of us. And that's like $25 a week. Like, no way. $100 a month, $300 for this course. It's like so, so beautiful. And it's like, why not? If you have been following Flea, sharing, in her stories, her artistic shares, if you have been following me, seeing me present in so many different spaces, and you've wondered, how do they do that? Or how can they say that and be so courageous and be so vulnerable and be so brave? Well, these foundations of what allowed us to open up our voices, to open up our hearts even deeper, and to just step into that courageous, vulnerable, um, unshakable leader that we are becoming more and more of. And there's so
mm,
many more beautiful facets that we get to unfold, not only for ourselves, our lives, each other, but with the people that get to come and work with us. And I'm a big believer that whoever is meant to be working with us is divinely guided. And these are the people that are ready. Or actually, I like to not use the word not ready, but willing
yes.
to go deeper, because we can say, I'm not ready, oh, I'm not ready, and just give this excuse when it's like, well, are you willing to do the work? Are you willing to go deeper and get to know yourself? Are you willing to put aside all the bullshit and actually take accountability? Are you willing to be triggered? Are you willing to have mirrors
Mm,
reflected to you? Are you willing to face the shadows so that your light can shine so brightly in all that you are? Are you willing to make mistakes and fumble on your words and still show up? There's a difference. Looking polished and looking beautiful, like I've got a beautiful Insta filter on over here, but on Facebook, this is me. I just literally woke up like 10 minutes ago. But I'm still here. I'm showing up in my light, in my authenticity, in my rawness, in my humanness. And I show up in my life, show up in business. I show up as mother, show up for my family as I am in this moment. And having the pretty things, the sparkly things that go, ooh, look at this person. They've got their beautiful captions down here. I love that. I really do love like creativity in media and content creation. But there's something different about showing up raw, showing up unfiltered, so
mm,
people can feel you. And to get to that level, you got to come do this course, guys.
yeah. 100%. Those cards for those people that want to know, the Hanged Man, or in this particular deck, it's Sacrifice. I like to write on my cards so they have a different value. For me, cards are a way to express. It's a way for me to receive the inner knowing that sometimes we don't want to admit. So like when that card comes out, especially the temptation or the devil card, it's like, what are you addicted to? Those continuous thought patterns, the cycles that are never ending. That one there, it's a trigger. And a lot of what this course does is teaches you how to play with that. Like, how do you make these triggers, these lessons, these moments that are a little bit uncomfortable? How do you learn to love them and use them as a reflection and be playful with it? It's like, okay, I'm triggered by that. Oh, let's discover why. Let's jump into the play and pretend it's a game, like life is. It's a human experience. We're all here doing our lovely AI version of reality. And that there is the beauty of it. That's where the mistakes happen. And when we step into that awareness, mistakes become power. They become like this twin side of self, this union of self. And this is the spiritual union card. And a lot of the time people mistake this as being, a union with a partner. It can. Perhaps that's your trigger. Your trigger is your partner and you don't communicate correctly, or, you're not on the same level of understanding, and that there becomes a problem. But really, it's when you are in union with yourself, when you come back to who you are, you start to see people, as Marie said, as a mirror, as a reflection, and the connections, the soul growth that happens from that. It's like, well, why am I being triggered by Marie, or why is she being triggered by me? What is it that we said that we need to look at a little bit more within ourselves? And that's what we teach. That's what this course is all about, is how do we bring it back to what does it mean for me? And for me, I use cards. Like, I'm a strong believer. People say it's woo-woo, it's rubbish. You can use whatever you want. If I look outside, I could get a message out there. It's your willingness to listen to yourself. Sometimes it's easier to see it reflected in an image. In art, I use a lot of art as reflection tools as well, because each one of those starts from nothing, or it starts from a mess. Literally something that was, awful, that I didn't like, that was sitting in a corner, becomes something new. And that there is the beauty of this course. That's where you really find yourself, and that coming back to oneness. And I will say that it is so much easier to do with a community that understands that than it is to do it alone. I've spent a lot of time in that Sacrifice and the Hanged Man state of just being in hermit phase, where I don't want to be around people. I can't trust anyone. I don't know what to do with my life anymore. And that darkness can swallow you up. It can really leave you wanting to exit the world. And we know that this is a huge problem in today's society. So if you're suffering with mental health, me too. I've been on medication, I've been on all that, and I knew that it was just a Band-Aid. I knew it was just something that was getting me through day to day, but deep down I knew that there was something wrong. I knew that I wasn't doing what was right for me, and I was saying yes. Yeah, I was taught just be accommodating, just be grateful, just be, helpful. If you just be loving and kind, then people will notice. Well, no, they don't. Not if you're not loving and kind to yourself. And I've said on some of our podcasts before that I used to pride myself on saying, oh, I don't lie. And I don't lie outwardly. I would never lie to anyone outside. It's something that disgusts me. Truth is something that is ingrained with me. But I lied to myself. I lied to myself when I agreed to do things that weren't in alignment for me, when I was saying yes to things because I was trying to make people like me or be happy. And that lie to myself it's detrimental to your health.
Yeah.
And I can feel that now as I'm trying to recalibrate and going through this hormonal process of, no, I need to fix me and care for me first. And the only way we can do that is by fully understanding and being aware of what it is that our patterns are continually teaching us. And it's patterns
Yeah.
that we're looking for.
And it's those belief systems. And I think you highlighted this to me a couple of years ago. And I hear other people now using this. Like in the belief system, if you look at the spelling, be lieth, the lie within the belief system that we are telling ourselves and what we think we value and the stories around that, it's questioning, is that really my value system or belief system? Or is it my mother's? Or is it society's? Or is it my boss's? And it's like being able to deconstruct and break that down and go, hang on, actually, that story that I've been telling myself, I can actually smash that away and recreate the story or make it anew or shift it. And it's that moment of shifting, that moment of choosing and deciding to do something different. That's where the magic is, to decide. Not deciding is a decision. Sitting on the fence is a decision.
Yeah.
Not doing anything is a decision. So the call out for today, you've heard why we value it. Flea and I just also love sharing our insights and listening deeply to people as well. And if you're interested to just find out a little bit more, just come and connect with us. Type in awareness or type in co-create and let's just have a chat and see if this feels good for you. And, there's such a beautiful offer that we've got on for 2025 during the Easter period, this time of renewal, regeneration. And let's just have a chat if you're thinking about it and you just want to get to know us a little bit more, because we love just talking to people, connecting, and just got this beautiful offer for you to think about, consider, decide whether it feels right for you. And it's just as simple as that.
Easy. Let's be in liketh with it.
Like it. I love that. We'll speak to you tomorrow, guys. We'll share some more cool stories. Bye.